Hello, and welcome to the Sociology Talk Network. Tonight, we'll be joined with three guests, all of which will be offering their opinions on social stratification. What is social stratification? What are the different aspects that influence society? Well, join us as we dive into the topic of social stratification tonight. So, Mr. von Strassenberger, what social stratification side do you take? Meritocracy or a caste system approach? Tell us what your thoughts are.
Oh, yes, well, I believe in meritocracy. Meritocracy is the way to go, my friends. I believe that meritocracy allows us to become the people that we want to be, gosh dang it. And I don't want the government coming in and telling me what I can and can't do. I want to be able to work hard. You know, I'm a self-made man. I'm a self-made man, and I worked hard as a child. Without meritocracy, without a strive for meritocracy, we'll never be able to be the society we want to.
Very interesting, Mr. von Strassenberger. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
We must strive for meritocracy, the utopian society as it is. You know, when I was a young boy, I thought I would always stay as a young man, working hard until I grew older. But as I grew up, I discovered that I could work hard and make money and grow up to be the aristocracy as I am now, making lots of money, living the dream, working at Oxford, and none of that could have been possible without a meritocracy approach. Meritocracy is not entirely possible. But if we strive for it, if we strive for that meritocracy, I believe that everyone will work harder and will live the dream of their life, live the good life.
That's very interesting, Errol. Thank you for your great insight. Thank you for telling us a little bit about what meritocracy looks like and the impacts on society and on people's lives that it can have. We look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you. Now joining us, we have Hank Shillingsworth, a homeless man roaming the streets. We will take his perspective, learn a little bit about what he thinks about social stratification. Please welcome. Hello, Chris. So Hank, tell us what you think about social stratification. Tell us what you think about meritocracy and the caste system. What would you say would be the best way? A caste system where you know where you stand, you can't move around in society, you may be held down, you may be stuck in the same place for the rest of your life, or meritocracy where you can move and be free, but there's never any real security in where you are. Tell us your thoughts, Hank.
Well, all I can say is that I'm a caste type of man. I don't like this class or meritocracy stuff. I want to be taken care of. I want to have this government working for me. They need to be paying my bills, making me food, and putting food on the table for my family. Now, I worked hard for this country in the war. They sent me overseas. They lost my arm for me. Didn't do this myself. Some army soldier from another country blew it off. And what do I get?
Thank you for coming on the show, Mr. Shillingsworth. It's been a pleasure having you. Your input has been greatly appreciated, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye. Next joining us on the show is Mitzi Ditzworth. Mitzi is a middle-class citizen who lives in New York City. Let's hear what she has to say about social stratification. Mitzi? Welcome, Mrs. Ditzworth. Thank you for joining us on the show today.
Hi. So, like, I don't know what this stratification is, but, like, it's kind of cool, I guess. Like, I don't know, like, I think, like, people should just, like, stay where they are. I guess that, like, what do you call it, like, caste? You know?
So, as we can see, there are definitely varying opinions. Meritocracy, which allows one to move throughout society based on their hard work and effort. And there's also the caste on the other side. Thank you for joining us on the Sociology Talk Network. Join us next time, or go to www.sociologytalknetwork.com. Goodbye. As you saw in the last interviews, we got a pretty good idea of what the different types of, social stratification there was. But let's go into more depth now. Let's talk about the structural functional approach, the social conflict approach, and different sociologists that influenced social stratification and how we view it now. Personally, I prefer the class system, a system where one starts out in a certain position, either poor or rich, and depending on what they work towards or how hard they work, depends on where they go. And of course, this is not a meritocracy where it's ideal, where there are no factors that play into who you become. But the class system definitely has more positive aspects than the caste system, is my personal belief. Number two, the structural functional approach to stratification, social stratification. This definitely plays into the Davis-Moore thesis. The Davis-Moore thesis says that there are definitely positive aspects to social stratification, and it builds up society and helps society run. My personal belief is that this definitely works. This is definitely true. I do not believe that the social gospel represented by Herbert Spencer was at all legitimate. I think that it has a lot of theological issues, such as the fact that the whole premise that the second coming could not happen without humanity ridding themselves of evil, and I fundamentally disagree with that. I believe that Christ has destroyed evil, and even though there's still sin in the world, that overall God has struck down the devil and has defeated death by death, and that even though we are sinners, we can still come to him, and that he will have his second coming, even if we are still sinning. The social conflict view of social stratification. In this category, there is Weber and there is Marx, and both have different viewpoints on social stratification. Let's look into that. Karl Marx believed that there was a huge difference in the social equality between the workers and the producers. He believed that and he saw that the producers were making a ton of money while the workers were not making much money and were living in terrible conditions. He believed that to get rid of this communist regime where all people make the same amount of money and there is no inequality in work. Max Weber believed that there were three different types of social inequality, and these were all based on social stratification. These were economic class, social status, and power. Weber and Marx differed greatly in their belief in social inequality.